This is in response to Billy's Talking Points memo from, what is today, Wednesday, October 8th, in reference to Billy's interview with Leon Panetta. First off, in terms of the interview itself, I don't really care about the interview. Nothing much was said. I'm really the type of person, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backward. What do we need to do today? Yes, we do need to look and see where strategic mistakes may have been made, but what do we need to do today to take care of this ISIL thing? And again, it does look like a village in northern Syria may be taken down. Turkey has not done anything to help out, leaving America to do all the dirty work. We cannot do it. We will not put boots in the ground. And so instead of blaming President Obama, again, you did mention Turkey the other day. Why didn't you mention them last night? Now, getting back to Panetta, what I really would like to know is why is it that a former chief of staff in the Clinton White House, former CIA director, former head of the Defense Department in the Obama administration, why someone like that would come on your show? I would never come on your show. Is it because he wants to write a book? I don't think that he has disowned Obama. I think that he has been very delicate in indicating that he was late to getting into the game, etc. But when you were bringing up how all the MSNBC people were just trashing him, and they weren't talking about the substance of what he was saying, I would disagree with that, because Lawrence O'Donnell went into a very strategic and important point, is that, you know, when there are these high-level discussions, presidents want to have someone people to feverishly, fervently disagree with each other. He wants to have both sides so that he can assess and make a determination. If I remember correctly, you wrote a book on Kennedy. And if I remember correctly, one of the last options that was brought up to President Kennedy in terms of the Cuban Missile Crisis, when it was first determined that there were missiles in Cuba, atomic missiles in Cuba, one of the last options that was presented was, oh, well, we could have a blockade. Whereas Curtis LeMay, who had a huge bombing, ran the bombing campaign in World War II against Japan, he was all for bombing them right away. No doubt in his mind, that's what we needed to do. And he wanted to put as much pressure on the president as he could within the confines of the Oval Office or wherever they may have met, and also with any type of external means that he could have done. So there, in the White House, there are opposing viewpoints, and they are diametrically opposed to each other. They present their case. The president makes their decision, whether it's for them or against them. They thank the president for listening to them, and then they move on to the next thing. Why Panetta has chosen to do this, I don't know. Again, I get back to it. Why is someone, forget his Defense Department and CIA thing. Let's just say that he was a trusted servant at the time and that he was a very good administrator, and that's why he got those jobs. But when he was in the Clinton White House, he was in the upper echelons of all the decision-making that was going on with the Clinton administration. I don't see him trashing the Clintons. I don't know if he trashed them back then. And then I know that one of your shrills, Bernard from the Imus show, McGurk, says that he's a lapdog for the Clintons. Well, let me just point this out. If Hillary Clinton were to be elected president, why would she want to have Panetta in her echelon of decision-making? Why would she even want that man remotely close to it? Because he's already proven that he's going to trash you once he gets out of there. Now, there's another thing in reference to, well, why would he be on your show? Obviously, he probably does not even remotely aspire to the same types of opinions that you have in terms of how this country should be run. Was he desperate? Does he need some money? Did his agent say he needed to be on the show? I don't really know. I would consider a great interview with Lawrence O'Donnell. Would Lawrence O'Donnell allowed him to express his opinion as to why he came to that opinion about these things about Obama? Now, every president makes mistakes. Every president makes mistakes day in and day out. We can find everything wrong with Bush day in and day out, and I know that you can find everything wrong with Obama day in and day out. Okay, but as I like to point out, there's been 10 million new jobs created in this administration. There wasn't even 1 million created in the Bush administration. He got rid of these wars. This is the result of what happens in those wars. Because I actually worked for someone who was from Iran, and he was actually my boss. And then I worked with someone who was from Afghanistan. The guy from Afghanistan said, we were 2 years into the campaign. You won't be gone for 10 years. He said, that's just the way it is. And then the guy from Iran says, these things are going on forever. Whenever you guys go, everything's going to go back to the same way it was. And that was predicted even before the war came on by many people. None of the people in the Bush administration, but by many people. But getting back to Panetta, and if he was so fervently against what the president had said in the Oval Office in terms of his decisions that he was making, in terms of the advice that Panetta was giving him, why didn't he just resign at that particular point in time on principle? Man, he might have gotten a lot more money for a book deal at that time. So, again, it's a confusing thing. I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he went on your show. I don't know what relevance this really has right now. We need to find allies who will work with us on the ground to help get rid of ISIL. Right? It appears that Turkey's not going to be quite the player that we would like them to be. Can we get them to work with us further in the future? I hope so. Can we get Iraq to do more things? I hope so. Saudi Arabia is doing some stuff. Jordan is doing some stuff. Can we get them to Qatar? Can we get them to do more? I hope so. Now, the scourge that you talk about, that we need to eliminate the scourge, if it's just going to be with Obama and they're just going to keep coming back, it's not going to happen, until we have some type of stability in there and some type of government that can take care of this type of thing. And as many people pointed out beforehand, that what would happen in Iraq's place is another strong man would come in and take over and everything would be back to normal. That was predicted in 2002 and 2003. So, but getting back to the Panetta thing, I don't know, why he was on your show raises more questions than anything else as far as I'm concerned, Billy. And I want to look forward to defeating ISIL, to moving along. We have many more things that are going on. And again, I think this is just part of a narrative because you indicate that Obama is not popular, that his foreign policy is not popular, because every single day, people of your ilk on your side are criticizing left and right what's going on over there. All I can say is there's not many Americans that are dying at this stage of his presidency that were dying in the Bush administration. All right? And we weren't lying. He's not lying people to send thousands of more troops over there. He's being pretty honest and saying, we need to get rid of this. We need allies, and we're not putting boots on the ground. And I wish you would heed something to that effect.